about when they took you down to Florida to the guy who came from Coney Island, for lack of a better term, the freak show, the fire breather, to teach you how to breathe fire. And he's sitting on face on fire as he's teaching you how to breathe fire. You had to be thinking, Bruce, what are you doing to me at that time?
Well, you know, the Vince wanted me to learn how to blow fire, and Bruce was being sent down, just, you know, being from the office to oversee it. And I found out earlier that they went to Barnum and Bailey, and their fire breather rejected it because he didn't want to give away his secrets, you know, circus, right? So they got a hold of a guy named Brian LaPalme, and he had like it's like one of those little parking lot carnivals, and we're standing in the parking lot, and the big tent, it was not fully put up yet, but Brian LaPalme, he was a fan. He was a wrestling fan. He was so excited to show me. So he used kerosene, filled his mouth up with kerosene. But he told me, he said, Ricky, if you ever do it outside, hold your torch up and you look at the flames and make sure that the wind is blowing the flames away from you, so that the wind is always at your back. So so he fills his mouth up with kerosene, and just as he takes that torch and he get ready to blow it, the wind shifted and the wind was blowing in his face, so he blew the kerosene, went into his face, and now I see this guy running around the parking lot with his face on fire.
and that's who Bruce got to teach you.
Too bad it wasn't Pritchard. Too bad it wasn't Pritchard.
And I looked at Pritchard, and I said, now Brian LaPalme told me that he's been doing this circus act for 10 years. I said, you see that 10-year veteran running around with his face on fire? I said, you call Vince up, tell him, and right now I'm telling him, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing this. And so Brian, he came back and his face was rosy red. And he said, no, everything's okay. It's just like a real bad sunburn. It's just, you know, superficial, real bad sunburn. He said, I just want to, I want to teach you. So we started off with little shot glasses, and then we ended up, and then we finished that day. I came back the next day, and then I started doing cupfuls inside the tent because the big top was finished, and learning how to blow fire that way. But there was a moment to which I was watching a 10-year veteran fire breather running around with his eyebrows were gone. His scalp was burnt halfway back to the middle of his head. The next morning we showed up for round number 2, and he was living in like one of those little Scotty trailers that you tow behind your car, a little trailer. So I knocked on his door, and he showed up. He had all these huge water bubble blisters on his face, and he started popping them, and he was laughing. You know, he said, "Oh, I just saved it so I could show you. You know, I just wanted to get a laugh out of you." And then, you know, all the big water bubble blisters.
What was Bruce saying?
He didn't say anything. His mouth was down to his jaw had dropped down to his knees when he saw the guy running around with his face, and came back with no eyebrows and half his scalp burned off.
Bruce didn't volunteer to do it first, right?
Oh no.
No.
Nothing.
Because, you know, you talk to Bruce about it. Well, I had to show Ricky how to do it.
Oh, yeah.